between both of you. It's the battle with regards to plastic. You with the plastic bags, and you, Alison, with the oceans. And I found in my notes who nominated you the female Indiana Jones, and it was Time magazine in 2015. And you were also nominated the Oprah of the Adventure, a surfer without borders. Maybe this is the secret of the success of the World Forum, to go and find this personality who speaks to the world and speaks to companies as well. Of course, my playground, as you were mentioning, are the oceans. You try to really stop the pollution of our oceans. And you started with a rather nice place seen from here, the Maldives. And Allison has 200,000 followers and 2 million views of her videos per year. So welcome, Allison.
Aloha. Just bend down. Is that okay? Can I pull them? Yep. No. Oh, I don't want to break them. Okay. Hi. Can you all understand me? Do you have the headphones, or need translation? I can do sign language. Wow. It's exciting to be here. Is there a way that yeah. Perfect. Thank you. This way? This way. Perfect. All right. Well, what I'm going to share with you is my story, because what I believe is that throughout time, through ancient history, stories have been the way that we have passed down information and education in order to keep our planet alive and thriving, not just surviving, but thriving. And so I will hopefully, my story will inspire you to, I believe that if you care about the world, you'll want to protect it. And so I hope my story inspires you to care about the world and work together with your family to keep this planet around for future generations and my kids, if I ever have any. These are my crazy parents. They were the pioneers in adventure and skiing, and they traveled the world together as photographers for companies like National Geographic and Patagonia. This is my papa. He had great hats back in the day. And they lived a life together until I came along. And they had a plan to climb the highest peak in southern Peru called Ausangate. And then I came. So they said, okay, we'll bring her with us. And at 2 months old, this became my first adventure into the wilderness and into our wonderful world. And that is me at 2 months old with my godfather in Peru. The mountain is over 19,000 feet. And they said that I turned blue on the way up, and then I kind of passed out. So now I have, if anything's ever wrong with me, I can be like, oh, it's because of the mountain. And that's my mom. So she was the first woman, and I was the first baby to climb and ski Ausangate. Then they got tired of the snow, and they decided to build a grass shack in Hawaii. And so this is my home in Hawaii. It is very like Robinson Crusoe, Swiss Family Robinson. It's almost 100% sustainable. It runs off solar power. My dad runs his big cars on vegetable oil. And we live right on the ocean in a very, very small, primitive fishing village. And so from a very young age, when I was like maybe 1 year old, we came here and started building by hand with no electricity, no water, just one hammer, one board at a time, weaving all the palm fronds that the roof is made out of to build a sustainable home. So it's possible. It's a lot of work, but it's possible. And even between this time, we continued to travel. So my dad thought when I was 7 years old, it was time to go to Mount Everest. And so here we are, up climbing Mount Everest. That's Everest in the background, tallest mountain in the world. We didn't go all the way to the top, but we made it past base camp. I was pretty little. And so, everything we did together as a family. And Patagonia, as you see, that it's all Patagonia, even this dress. And the picture was a great support to us. And my parents, grew up adventuring. They were all a very close adventure circle, like the founder, Yvon Chouinard of Patagonia, and they all kind of branched out into their own things. Whereas Yvon started Patagonia, my dad went and started an adventure company. So instead of creating products as a family, we took people on adventures to inspire them to learn about the world and take that back to their companies and then continue to spread it. Because there's something when you stand on a mountaintop or you swim in the ocean, it fuels your soul, and it's a message that you just can't learn in a textbook or it's just a very special feeling. So we wanted to share that with people. So they started a company, Yoga Adventure. My mom is a yoga teacher, and we brought people all over the world. And during that time, we would fund the trips with companies like Patagonia. My dad would shoot photos. This was a large poster in one of their stores for years, and I was homeschooled. Like I said before, the world was my classroom, so I would wake up every morning in some different location and get to learn about India or learn about an elephant or a camel without actually going into a classroom. It was pretty amazing. All I wanted to do was go to school and be normal, which is interesting. This was my first friend. His name was Billy, and I didn't have many human friends, so I'm really glad to meet all you guys. Because it was kind of lonely sometimes. The monkey's the one on this side. And that was my childhood, was growing up with all these people, and I didn't know that I was, haole, as we call it in Hawaii, or white. I just thought I was a girl of the world. And to me, these were my friends. And then, as soon as I was old enough to ride my own camel, I set off on my own with my pink surfboard and my film camera, and my board is made out of recycled coffee cups. So, like styrofoam, basically, that they melt down and make into surfboards. My bikinis are made out of recycled plastic bottles. And so I set off on eco-adventures around the world with a desire to share the mystery and the intrigue of these cultures that I grew up in a way to inspire everyone to care about the planet. And of course, surfing is my passion. I don't compete. I love it. I'm a soul surfer. I just love big waves. And, I believe that a pink surfboard and a smile can really open any door. And so that was my goal, was to start a film series. So my film series is called Allison's Adventures. And one L, if you want to check it out, ALISONS, Allison's Adventures. And basically, I travel the world and bring you with me through my films. So children, mostly, and families all over the world can learn about the wild cultures that exist. That's the logo, Allison's Adventures, if you want to check it out. But I love education through entertainment. That is my goal, is that if you can be entertained and love the story and have fun watching something, that maybe the children and the youth will want to learn more. This was the most viewed image on Google last year. My photographer, Sarah Lee, is here today, and you guys can go talk to her and get her autograph. She's pretty awesome. She's an incredible photographer, and she travels with me and shoots these amazing photos and swims. This is in front of my house in Hawaii. These are my dolphins. So throughout the year, my dolphin. These are my dolphins. This is the dolphin pod that I grew up swimming with. Emmanuel, you got to swim with them when you came and visited us. So amazing. He came all the way from Italy today to come to this forum. Thank you. It's just, I became very close with the ocean, not just like we have to protect it, but it's my home. I love it. I love it very much. This is in the Maldives, and if we continue to create plastic and it continues to go in the ocean, it will kill our oceans eventually. It breaks down, it releases very deadly toxins, and it's just not good. It's just really not good. So That brings me to Naked and Afraid. So I was cast in this show on Discovery called Naked and Afraid. I don't know if any of you have gotten to see it. It went pretty international. It became the biggest, most watched show in the history of Discovery Channel, and I was the first to be sent out. We had no idea what we were doing at that point. It was almost a month in the wilderness on an island, stranded with no food, no water, no shelter, and no clothing, with a man that I'd never met. And it was very Adam and Eve, but you can see there's even plastic in the corner. And it just blew my mind that every day during this survival adventure, which I didn't eat for almost a month, I thought I was going to die, there's plastic bottles from all over the world with labels from Russia, from Australia, from China, and they would just float up on the beach all day. So I really got to watch it and understand it, and I was like, oh, this is horrible. I have to do something about this. So about a year later, I came back with a film crew and with Sarah Lee and Mark Tipple, an Australian cinematographer, and we made a film called Allison's Adventures Maldives that I had no idea. I just wanted to change the world. I had a coconut, and a granola bar, no funding, just a dream and an idea. And it went viral. It went crazy. Yahoo, CNN, Today Show, Oprah, Ellen, all over the place. And these pictures maybe you have seen going across the internet of Trash Island. So basically, this is where bottles come to die in the middle of the Indian Ocean. And the Maldives is the lowest lying country on Earth. So if it goes underwater, all this plastic will be in the ocean. It will go into one of the biggest tuna fisheries in the world. And when you eat fish, you will be eating plastic. There's many things. You can look up Trash Island, and I won't get into the scientific because I'm here to share the story today, but I hope this inspires you to, next time you buy a plastic bottle, to not. There's amazing reusable bottles you can get. This is a Mobot, there's Hydro Flask, there's Clean Canteen. It's pretty simple that we can do things as individuals to help the planet and contribute. So this is Trash Island. Because of my film and my photos, it is now getting cleaned up, and that's pretty exciting. Putting in recycling plants in the Maldives, it's a slow process, but it's an honor that I was able to make a difference, and now I get to come to places like this and share this information with you all, and I'm very, very, very thankful. So I decided to come to Paris on the way here to do some surfing. And they already ruined my moment by showing you the photos already. I love it. But yep, this was our fun in Paris yesterday. So I hope that you follow my adventures. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to share more. But I have to ride off right now on my horse and go to the next ocean speech. I do have a very, very short film clip. I don't know if we have time, of Trash Island. Yeah, should we show it? Okay, so this is a little part of my film, Allison's Adventures Maldives. Everything is free to watch on my YouTube and Facebook, so you can go and watch it later, but this is Trash Island. Welcome.
Trash Island, it was a sight to see. And I was surrounded by mountains of burning trash. The odor was horrifically toxic.
Hello?
I approached the first person I could find.
Hello, excuse me?
Oh, hi.
What is your name?
Rajesh.
Oh, Rajesh, Allison. Allison, yeah. From Hawaii. You know surfing?
Yeah.
Like this? With this? Have you surfed before?
No.
Where's the plastic? Recycle. No, not cycle. Like,
It seemed he
it
didn't
this
have a
way?
clue what I was talking about, but offered to take me to the plastic.
so you work here?
Hi, supervisor.
Supervise.
Yeah.
Whoa, supervisor. Holy moly.
And it turned out it was also his home,
wow.
with quite the front yard.
Yeah.
Holy plastic. All the trash in the Maldives? Come here.
This side.
That's a big job. Big job. So, this all just stays here. No recycle. Just sits here.
I came to understand that there was no recycling. And most of this plastic wasn't even from the Maldives. It was brought from all over the world by ocean currents. It is truly incredible how far a plastic bottle can travel and destroy paradise. And the bottles just sat there and eventually burned into toxic fumes, which constantly flowed over the capital city, Male, which holds more than 1/3 of the country's population. Rajesh told me how he almost died from the fumes.
Pollution, yeah.
And then in your house,
Ice very bad. And fever coming.
fever coming from all the smoke. So you go to the
Yeah.
hospital.
Hospital, no.
Living in this pollution all the time?
Yeah, all the time. No.
Okay.
I thanked Rajesh and gave him the only thing I could think of to protect his eyes from the smoke.
Yeah, like movie star.
Yeah, I very like.
You very like?
Yeah, very like.
Thank you.
And then, using my surfboard as a sort of walking stick, I set off to see the extent of Trash Island.
I just trekked across the entire trash island here in the Maldives, and I just wish that we could recycle all of this into usable items.
Soon the sun set over Trash Island, and I bid Rajesh farewell.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Thank you. Il faut aussi des...
We also need watchdogs like Allison to change the world. We can remember three things from your experience. The first thing, and it's true for all CSR actions, it's having pleasure in what you do, enjoying what you're doing with employees as well, as Charles said earlier, with your stakeholders, is really having pleasure in what you do. And the second thing is knowing that it's possible. And the third element that you should remember, and this is interesting, I think we'll have to look at this deeper, is how we can support changing behaviors. When you see this man on Trash Island and you make him realize what's happening, it's really supporting change, because we need to change things and we need to raise awareness around us if we want to save our planet. I would like to recommend something that you can download, which is very interesting, on ADEM website, the environmental agency's website. It's from a social scientist, Mrs. Martin, and it's about behavioral change regarding pollution, health and safety at work, and so on and so forth. You can see here how to access her work. You can download it for free. It's on ADEM's website. It's about 100 pages and it's very interesting. Thank you to both of you. We're going to take a few minutes to hear what the audience has to say, and if you have questions to ask to our speakers, and then I'd like to introduce another person who is great, and we will conclude this morning's session. So who'd like to start asking a question? What do you think, sir, about all this? Well, it's very positive. I've heard a lot about what Mohammed Yunus said in the previous day. I am a graduate from the local business school. I work for the first microcredit, the leading microcredit organization in France called ADI. And on a daily basis, of course, I can identify myself with what's been said. We share the profits of the company. As Mohammed Yunus said, it's one small action after the other. It's not about changing the whole world in one go. It's what we do on a daily basis. And thank you for giving me the floor to be able to express myself on this. I don't have any specific question. I would like to thank you online as well. Thank the people who are online and who contribute through their hashtag and so on. Among the young people, although, well, we're all young, right? You're young too. All right, a young woman. Do you want to react to ask a question? Are you a student? Yes, I'm a student in the local business school. Hello, everybody. I joined the local business school last year, and I became aware about sustainable development and how we can implement in a company CSR strategy as an employee, or as a corporate leader, and how we can be more open-minded to sustainable development issues and how to behave more responsibly and so on and so forth. So it's very interesting to hear your experience. Is it a kind of job that you would like to have in the future? Well, it's something I discovered at the local business school because they really focus their curricula on sustainable development. So why not? It's probably something that I'm going to develop, and we'll see in a few years from now. All right, anyone can ask a question, so please just raise your hand if you want to ask a question. Hello. It's very interesting to hear your experience. What I'm worried about is the increase of global consumption, because we talked about percentage, but not volumes, total quantity. So of course, reducing your carbon footprint is extremely important. And there's no such thing as a small action. But when I see that what Scandinavian countries can do, they're often shown as great examples compared to the Indian or Chinese population. Well, what can we do? So of course you're talking about upstream actions, right? Charles, you manufacture and you sell, so you know about these issues. Yes, well, if we have a look at what fast developing countries are doing, we can be fatalistic. But Pierre Rabhi said that everybody should contribute. And let me give you an example. There is a fire in a forest, there's a small bird trying to find water in the nearest lake, and the bird flies over the trees and drops the water from its beak, and a squirrel is here and said, "What are you doing, you little bird?" And he said, "Well, I'm doing my part." So the little bird knows that it cannot extinguish the fire by itself, but it decided to take action. And I think that by multiplying local actions, we can generate global action. If you compare yourself to the mass, of course, it's useless. But you know that added, all these small actions can transform things. You sell fast consumer goods. Do you speak to your end users, to consumers, to tell them about an alternative to consumption, about how to reduce consumption? Do you do things? Well, we take action regarding packaging. The idea, the objective is to be 100% biodegradable. And we need to continue working on this. But for example, we have infusion pouches for tea, and we replaced cotton by organic cotton. We used recycled fiber in our cardboard boxes. We used wood from
Et puis on a fait un pas supplémentaire, on a enlevé les agrafes et aujourd'hui on est en train de passer le cellophane en végétal. Ce qui veut dire que la boîte, demain, elle tombe dans la nature, au bout de quelques mois, en fonction du climat, elle sera totalement biodégradée. Donc ce qu'on appelle l'emballage compostable. Voilà. Mais je crois que finalement aujourd'hui, avec les progrès technologiques, tout est possible. Donc il faut se donner les moyens de le faire et là, accepter aussi que finalement on n'arrive pas à l'objectif idéal du premier pas, mais que effectivement
we won't reach the ideal objective, but that we're keeping track with our objective, and little by little we'll get there. And so, by doing so, your brand becomes more and more attractive, and of course it means effort, it's costly, but it creates brand loyalty, it creates attractiveness, it creates sense, meaning inside a company, and consumers say, well, that's the right direction. So I think we need to accept the evidence of small actions and small steps. Hello, everybody. Thank you for sharing your experience. I would like to ask a question to Mr. Klobukov. You talked about brand loyalty and employees' loyalty. How do you create that loyalty? How do you build it? Well, regarding employees, there is a simple indicator, which is turnover, so the percentage of employees leaving the company. And in what circumstances? Today it's less than 2% turnover, so less than one employee out of 50 leaves the company every year. We also create employment. So that's the first indicator. And, well, to contribute to that, it's using natural light, is organizing nice working spaces, buying organic fruit for our employees, and it's for free. And so little by little, it's small actions, but for when we see the cost per employee, it doesn't cost much, but it generates a lot of happiness and well-being in the company, and these are great levers really in the company. So I think what's important is not to take into account the immediate cost, but trying to understand the return on investment in the longer term. So these, again, are small initiatives. We have a look at what's going on in other companies, and we see that things that we've implemented in our companies is duplicated elsewhere. For instance, we have no plastic bottles in our company. 10 years ago, we used water fountains that were made of plastic. Today, we're not good, right? Look at
Alison a donné l'exemple.
Allison
Il y a 10 ans, on avait encore des bonbonnes en plastique, vous savez, des petites fontaines avec des bidons.
So 10 years ago, we had water fountains. There were 50 liters plastic tanks, and I thought that was stupid. So now we use tap water. Tap water is filtered with carbon filter to remove heavy metals, and today we use cardboard cups. And so there is no plastic used in the company to drink water. You have another question. Yes. Do you think that today 100% of your employees are committed to sustainable development? That's my first question. And second, I'm a bit provocative maybe, but are the values of sustainable development, can it be criteria for recruiting in a company like yours?
Évidemment, je dirais que plus le grade de l'emploi est élevé, plus
I would say that the higher the position, the stronger the commitment. But regarding supply chain management or manufacturing processes, people are looking for a job because they need to make a living. So it's more difficult to assess, to be honest. But I think 60 or 70% of our employees are really involved in sustainable development. And this is something that we can measure when we go outside the company, when we have volunteering actions, we organize events outside the company, and I think that 1/3 of our employees get involved on these actions. The second question on attractiveness of the company and recruitment criteria. Yes, well, today, I think we are identified as a company that is committed, so people know what we do, and some people say, I've tried to get a job in your company for years, and sometimes they accept to leave their company and get a lower position to just come and work for us. So I guess people who are in their 30s today, they are highly motivated, they want their work to be meaningful, and they want to work for companies which have established practices and commitments that go in the right direction. You have knitting classes, right? That's what I see on the pictures behind you.
Je sais pas tout.
Well, I don't know all the actions that are taking place in my company. Well, that's what I'm taking. There are photography classes and knitting classes as well to relax during breaks. So 3 questions. I'm Mark, and we're in charge of responsible development at ADEO. I have a question. You are a committed company. It's clear. We can see that. Do you favor the creation of responsible actions that are taken, that are implemented by your employees? And if so, how?
Alors, on a, pour nos collaborateurs
Do you
proprement,
support your
on a
employees?
ouvert au mécénat de
Well,
compétences. C'est une pratique qui est assez
we
peu répandue
create
encore parce qu'elle est basée
skill
vraiment sur un volontariat
sponsorship.
individuel.
It's something new. It's based on a voluntary
on étant payé par
contribution.
l'entreprise
You're paid by the
à
company
des
and
actions dans des ONG.
you
Donc,
go
c'est une
and spend
possibilité,
some
mais qui est
time
finalement assez peu
to work
utilisée
in
pour les
NGOs.
collaborateurs.
It's not something
Après,
that
en fait, il
employees
y a beaucoup
use a
de
lot.
monde qui s'implique quand même dans le monde
And then
associatif.
we do other things, and there are a lot of
Et puis,
employees
pas
who
mal de
are
personnes
involved
qui,
in
participent au printemps à
organizations,
des
non-profit
nettoyages de plages.
organizations, or we have
On parlait
actions,
tout
for
à
example,
l'heure
to
de
clean
l'éco-festival
local
pour faire
beaches,
des ateliers
or there are
auprès des
festivals as
enfants,
well, and we organize workshops with
apprendre
kids
à faire sa crème,
to
utiliser des huiles
teach them on how
essentielles,
to
partager
cook their own
les
products
actions
or
des
make
associations
essential oils.
sur les
Or
potagers,
we
sur
also
les,
share
voilà,
our
apprendre un peu aussi
knowledge
les enfants,
on
le rapport à la terre, que le
small,
légume,
having
il est
your
pas carré,
small
congelé, mais qu'il pousse quand même
orchard,
dans la terre et qu'il a une certaine forme.
and we
Voilà,
show
donc
them what
il y a de
vegetables
multiples
look
petites
like,
actions comme ça, mais
really in real life. That's for kids. So you haven't really supported any specific social business action outside the company?
ben, voilà, on va garder l'idée.
Well,
Ça sera pour la
we'll,
prochaine action.
I'll take this idea with me back to my company. Very short question and short answer, please, before we conclude. Hello? I would like to ask you a question regarding the right to pollute. We talked about carbon dioxide. Some companies, once they've some companies pollute a lot and then they can buy carbon credits. Do you think that have you ever resorted to
répondre avec
this kind of
Alison,
scheme of
aussi,
buying
je pense, parce que c'est une question
carbon
assez
credit?
générale
And
qui
maybe
peut
Alison
s'adresser aux
can
citoyens autant qu'à
reply to this as well, because
Oui,
this
alors,
is a very
écoutez,
broad
le droit de
question.
polluer, nous, on n'est
Well, the
pas
right to
concernés, mais on peut
pollute,
dire que les
we're not
activités
really involved
économiques
with
qui génèrent
this,
effectivement
but
beaucoup de pollution,
there are
c'est bien
some
qu'elles aient à
businesses that
s'affranchir
generate
de
a lot
ça
of
et
pollution.
qu'elles apportent une forme de
And
compensation.
sometimes it's
Donc
good
oui, moi je
because
suis
they can
pour la taxe
compensate their
carbone
actions. So I'm in
et je suis
favor of the
même
carbon
pour, entre guillemets, une
tax,
fiscalité
and I'm
plus
in
avantageuse
favor
pour les
of
entreprises vertueuses.
companies to lower their taxes if they don't pollute so much. Alison?
I could add to that is when you go on an airplane somewhere, you can offset your carbon footprint. Because a lot of people's, oh, you're a eco girl, but you fly. And I'm like, yes, I fly. You can't be perfect all the time, but you can do things to offset it. Do I think we should create big polluting companies and then offset it? Absolutely not. But it is an option. You can go to websites and they will plant 10,000 trees in Africa and offset your carbon footprint.
Très vite, la dernière question de Madame.
Hello, I'm Maria Veludo. I'm an entrepreneur, female entrepreneur. I'm a partner with the local business school. Your presentation was very inspiring. I have a different experience from yours, sir. One of the questions was, is a company a purpose per se? My company was a purpose per se. I had a dream. I'm a dreamer, and I translate my dreams into a reality. My company is a purpose per se because I love creating. I'm an entrepreneur. My company is what how I made it, but I do it while respecting local areas and people. The company is not a problem, but impacts are. One comment for Allison.
Is so you drive education. My drive is fighting against pollution of information. Et c'est ça que je veux dire, c'est que la pollution.
It's what I wanted to say. Pollution can be seen from different angles. What does that mean? What does it mean to? It means we have to be accurate with the information we deliver, and then we can help people and companies. Thank you very much. Thank you.
C'est là, c'est ça. Voilà.
Okay, will I show this? Adele, can you come here and we'll give you a round of applause? Adele Kamshuang. We will be meeting her again this afternoon in a workshop led by Clement. She's a CEO, a company CEO, and we have a special name for that, for female entrepreneurs in France. We're very happy to have you here. So in this exchange, in this first question we put on the table, I'd like to have your feedback on this and your contribution. So you're leading a company called Tropic Industrie, and it's a very nice development. We saw how you developed your company in a very short time in terms of turnover and employment. So a company, what for? What can you say about this? What are companies for? Thank you. I'd like to first thank the World Forum for inviting me here today to share my experience. And what are companies for? Well, I think that companies are based on 3 different objectives. First of all, the creation of values, of course, production of goods or services. Secondly, creating jobs and enabling everyone to be able to take advantage of these profits. And thirdly, the protection of the environment in order to take into account future generations. Because a company that doesn't take into account these 3 objectives is not profitable in a sustainable way, according to me. So if you want to be sustainably profitable, you need to take into account those 3 pillars. So in this magazine, we've discovered your biography, the story of a very strong woman who comes from being an intern, who goes from being an intern to being a CEO. And when Charles was saying earlier, women will save the world, I actually gave him a round of applause. I really like that. I'm not a feminist, but I think that with regards to culture, and even in a cultural and even in a natural way, I think women have a plus. Unfortunately, I think men don't have that. I think this is related to people, because women have to take into account also details when they live their day-to-day lives. They also have this motherly instinct that accompanies all of their decisions that they need to take within the companies. And this can lead to change. This is a very important subject. This is a topic of the workshop you will be part of this afternoon, and I'd like you to give us some proof of what you're saying with regards to this topic. I also wanted to say that in Europe, the companies have a bit more than 30% of women leaders. We try to maintain that in the World Forum, and I think we are a bit higher than this figure. We have about 40% of female speakers at the World Forum. So thank you very much.
We can't be perfect all the time. I try, but I don't succeed. No? Sorry. Non, simplement, je crois que ce mot est intéressant.
I think that this phrase, this sentence is important. Of course, we're not perfect all the time. And I think we would be wrong sometimes. Sometimes when I present such a company, some people point their fingers and say, well, they didn't do this right. I think it is strange when you see this way of confronting or opposing an ideal company and then a real company. I think I'm not talking about you, Charles, because I think you're perfect every day. Maybe not every day, but I think what's important in our testimonies we heard this morning is the involvement. This involvement is the demonstration of the story we told earlier about the little bird in the forest fighting the fire. Often we think we're relying on big principles, big organizations, and we don't take the trouble to act. And I think these testimonies today show us that we can act. So thank you very much. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, Adele. Thank you, Alison. And we're going to continue our talks today. Thank you very much. We have lots of meetings, and I'll see you again in 15 minutes' time here to talk about territories and the dynamics of the territories. Thank you very much.